about this world is fake. Fake food, fake political system, fake religious system, fake medical system, fake skies. It's unreal.
The directive I'm signing today will refocus America's space program on human exploration and discovery. It marks an important step in returning American astronauts to the moon for the first time since 1972 for long-term exploration and use. This time, we will not only plant our flag and leave our footprint, we will establish a foundation for an eventual mission to Mars and perhaps someday to many worlds beyond.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. It's a painful process to build it back again.
Many of us and many other people in many places have speculated on the meaning of this first landing on another body in space. Would each of you give us your estimate of what is the meaning of this to all of us?
You want to try that? Yeah, for you.
We've been lied to. I will not be fooled by aliens coming, because there are no aliens. There's no space.
You have to use your own imagination as to what the world might be, because we were lied to about what it is. My imagination isn't trying to deceive me.
This world is very different from what most people think it is. very simple indeed to just silence everybody, put an end to this topic once and for all, turn the Hubble around and show us Earth in real time, zooming in onto a place so that we can see what's happening at that place, and we know that there is something up there looking down on us from space. But they will not do it. They can't do it. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist.
This next question comes from Twitter user Aku, who asks, any estimations on how old these discovered exoplanets are?
Yeah, the age of the star and the system itself is poorly constrained. We know it's not very young, it doesn't show signs of youngness, so it's at least 500 million years old. But we can't say more because these ultra-cool dwarf stars, they evolve super slowly. Their lifetime is 1,000 times larger than for a sun-like stars. So we don't see them evolving, so we can't constrain their ages.
All right, this next question comes from Facebook Live here. What is the distance between these three planets? Is it something like 500,000 kilometers? And what is the distance between E and the star?
The distance between the planets are a few times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. So we're talking about something like millions of kilometers and not hundreds of millions of kilometers for an Earth around a sun-like star. And for the planet F, the distance is something like 5% the distance between the Earth and the Sun. So it's much, much closer to its star.
I think it's important that everybody does their own research, and I try to point that out as often as possible, and I try to say it as often as I can, because if you ever are listening to what someone's telling you, or you're watching me point out space fakery or what I think is a hoax, I'm doing that to kind of get you on your way. But all of space travel is fake. All of outer space and the way that we've been taught it, planets and nebulas, is completely different than we've been taught. And that realization ultimately comes with looking into this stuff yourself. People think space is what they've been told because they've been told. And that goes for scientists, that goes for professors, to look into the things that they're teaching. To tell children that they're spinning on a ball is an extraordinary claim. And to say that we're flying through space and that the atmosphere sticks with Earth sounds like extraordinary claims. Sounds like it's just ad hoc explanations for things that we would see on a spinning ball that we don't see because it's not spinning and it's not a ball. If they found out that what they're teaching is a lie, they would all stop tomorrow. And so I think that the main point of what I'm trying to say is going to be the importance behind actually doing your own research and showing NASA to be the fraud that they are. Because of the education that we were given and because of the indoctrination and because of every TV show and video and commercial and logo, if you're about the truth, if you care about actually talking about what things are true, and you actually respect people who are willing to speak out about that, then you will, come to the realization eventually that we've been lied to, on the largest possible scale. But I also know 100% one thing, and that's that they're hiding God. Without a doubt, in my mind, that is the reason for this all. And like you said, people are getting paid to do it. They're hiding God. They're hiding God. They're hiding God.
A new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order. A new world order where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind. A new world order can emerge. There is the very real prospect of a new world order.
You cannot prove a lie.
Well, you say, for example, that there were no planes that hit the World Trade Center. Is that your contention? Well, did you see the videotape that the rest of us saw?
What you will see is a fake, a cartoon display.
You're suggesting that there's some kind of cartoon animation there. You're suggesting that the news media was a part of this.
Yes,
those pictures came from the news media.
No second plane. It was a bomb. Bombed in the building, not second plane. That was a bomb. We say the second plane.
That's what we're told. The second plane. We saw it on television. We saw it on television. We saw it on television. I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
I didn't see any airplane.
Did you see it? Yes, I saw it. It just blew up immediately.
And then the South Tower just exploded.
The second building went off.
It just blew up. I was underneath it. I was looking at the tower. I had my camera in my hand. I heard the noise. I never saw the airplane. I never saw the airplane.
That's what we're told. The second plane. We saw it on television.
I never saw the airplane.
I did not see a plane.
I didn't see any airplane.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a plane. I learned that from the news media.
And we saw it on television. And we saw it on television. And we saw it on television.
You'd heard that there was basically a plan to eliminate a third of the population. The population of the world, and Africa was the main target because the people there are worthless. I just want to say that a colleague of mine, and I make it clear when I say a colleague, someone I know professionally, who is very highly placed. He's not a friend, he's just someone I know who went to the conference at Davos just recently, and the people who go to Davos are the architects and controllers of money and the politics of the world, and he came back and he said to me that it is a definite systematic plan because they have worked out they need to get rid of at least a third of the people on the earth. And I said to him, does that include me? And he said, no, it doesn't include you because you're of European stock.
You're one of us.
Yeah, well, these are not my words. These are Bill Gates' words. Just Google Bill Gates and depopulation and sterilization. You'll hear out of his own mouth the plan. And then if that's not enough for you, then listen to Henry Kissinger and his words, where he talks about how this is a win-win situation.
Learning from you, Dr. Young, is that a quadrillion-dollar enterprise is at work amongst us, decimating, culling the human family.
Intentionally,
using synthetic molecules which by design are cancer, AIDS, all of the bogeymen you could dream of.
Yeah, it's for the purpose of sterilization and population control. There's too many people on the planet we need to get rid of. In the words of Bill Gates, at least 3 billion people need to die. So we'll just start off in Africa. We'll start doing our research there, and we'll eliminate most.
If you're about the truth, if you care about actually talking about what things are true, and you actually respect people who are willing to speak out about that, then you will, come to the realization eventually that we've been lied to, on the largest possible scale. But I also know 100% one thing, and that's that they're hiding God. Without a doubt, in my mind, that is the reason for this all. And like you said, people are getting paid to do it.
Students' claim is reigniting the debate about prayer in schools. The high schooler says an administrator kept her from praying before she ate her lunch.
Pedro Banda scored the touchdown that would send his team to the playoffs for the first time. But what Pedro did next got him kicked out of the game and put his football future in jeopardy. He pointed his hand to the sky and thanked God.
When we say public schools, what we really mean is government schools. We have given to the government the role of educating our children. I think that's a bad idea. Very bad idea. Very bad idea.
Students all across America, thousands and thousands of students who are learning. They're learning about space flight.
Wouldn't that be nice? Can you believe that space is going to do that?
NASA does what they can to teach you about something you'll never experience. And they force it down your throat as if it is part of your experience. And people have adopted it as if space travel is part of their experience, as if orbits are part of your experience, as if satellites are part of your experience. Because of the research I've done, that clearly shows me that these things are not legit. And I think people need to really take the time to look into satellites, for instance, just as an example. That, yeah, we're told satellites exist. We're told what they do. And if I say they don't exist and somebody makes a video and says, well, right here you can go to this website and it says right here the satellites exist and what they do. If it's a deception, well then, no shit, Sherlock, if you go check out a web page that's about satellites, then you're not going to find the deception there. It's something that people just don't do. They don't demand proof of things that we're told. That's the problem. It is absolutely a joke to be shown CGI images, to be shown black and white images of Saturn's rings. It's a joke. It is absolutely the worst thing I've ever seen because of what it does to the minds of people. And science should always be about moving towards the truth. And science should never be settled. It should never be settled science. And it should always be open for question. It should always be open for new evidence to come along. And that's not the science we're given today. We live in the world we see with our eyes every day. You can recognize what's real, what's real. And what's not, and what's not. I'm not going to adopt something as my belief until I've done the research behind it, and you understand that, and you recognize the power behind research and investigation.
universe. I'm there, but you have
And I want y'all to be honest as possible. Do y'all think the earth is flat?
No.
No? Why not?
It's Earth.
Who told you that?
History. Fourth grade. Yeah, with science teachers.
You don't think it's flat?
There's possibility.
Possibility?
Just maybe.
Maybe.
Race.
Y'all think we move? You think we spinning?
Probably.
I mean, that's what the science books say.
Gravity.
Do you feel it? So what is gravity?
Oh, I don't know the true definition.
You think it's a ball? And what's your best proof that it's a ball and that it's not flat?
Because of the satellite, they show the image. That's the way.
The satellite, the pictures that you see. But you yourself, can you feel the Earth spinning right now? No. Okay. Have you ever seen the Earth curving? Me neither. You know why? It's because the Earth is flat and it doesn't spin. Look into it.
You prove to me that the earth is round.
Obviously I can't.
You can't. So all you can go by is what? What you read and what you were told, right?
Exactly.
But what you see, the people that told you that the earth is round also say that we're spinning on an axis going around the sun.
Yeah.
Do you feel it?
No.
Have you ever seen the curve?
What do you mean? Have you ever
No,
seen
the earth curve. Have you ever seen it?
No, of course you can't.
You can't see it.
No.
Exactly. So how? How is it right? It can't be. It can't be.
Okay.
It can't just be. It just is.
So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, we can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space?
Can you be more specific? Air bubbles?
So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you.
Often on the outside of the space station, you'll liberate little pieces of, it's a really harsh environment out there, and the outside of the space station gets beat up pretty good. And sometimes, you'll see just little flecks of paint or something that you might have disrupted floating away from the suit. And, that's generally what that is. I've never seen any kind of air bubble anywhere.
Yeah. Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there? Everyone to look up bubbles in space, hashtag bubbles in space. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I beg you to do the research that I've done, which is just simply go and look at this stuff. Really question everything. Because if they faked it once, what's to stop them from faking it twice? And what's to stop them from faking it all?